Hi, Monica Day. We begin with breaking news. We have a second confirmed case of COVID-19 in Columbus, and according to Columbus public health officials, this appears to be the first community-acquired case in the city. NBC4's Dan Perlman is joining us now from the Watch 4 Alert Desk with the latest. Dan.
Yeah, Monica, city leaders tell us the patient in this case is a 23-year-old woman with underlying health conditions. She is at an area hospital as we speak, but no word on which hospital that is. A short time ago, Columbus Public Health Commissioner Dr. Mashika Roberts issued a statement that reads, "As we told you, the patient appears to be our first case of community acquired, which means the source of the infection is unknown. The patient has not traveled or been exposed to anyone who has traveled to an area high in COVID-19 cases." Mayor Andrew Ginther says this should remind all of us of the importance of social distancing and, as many of you are, staying home as much as possible. I'm scheduled to speak with Dr. Roberts in a few minutes. As soon as I do, I'll let you know what she shares about this case over at NBC4i.com. Local for you at the Watch 4 Alert Desk, Dan Perlman, NBC4.
Dan, thank you. And of course, we first told you about this breaking news through a mobile push alert. If you do not have the NBC4 app, it's a great time to get it. It is free. And we have learned that Ohio State University will postpone spring commencement. According to a release from the university, the decision to postpone was sent to students, faculty, and staff, all in a response to stop the spread of the coronavirus. And the Columbus VA Medical Center continues to take proactive steps to prevent the spread to patients and staff. Part of that process, everyone who enters the campus located on James Road will be pre-screened, and additionally, the VA will not be allowing visitors. Well, Ohio voters not going to the polls today. As you've probably heard, the decision to postpone the election comes after a whirlwind legal battle last night and ultimately an order from the Department of Health. Governor DeWine made the recommendation Monday during a press conference. The state filed a lawsuit to delay the primary on behalf of elderly voters. But a Franklin County judge denied that motion, saying that he was reluctant to override the General Assembly to set election dates. In response, Health Director Dr. Amy Acton issued special orders to keep all polling locations closed. Now, Secretary of State Frank LaRose is going through the courts to extend voting options.
We want the voters of Ohio to know that they will have their voice heard, that we're going to hold an election. My guidance is that that election will happen on June 2nd, and that between now and then Ohioans have the chance to vote by mail. A fair and free election is my mission, and that's my focus right now.
Governor DeWine echoed those concerns in a statement, saying, quote, "During this time when we face an unprecedented public health crisis, to conduct an election would force poll workers and voters to place themselves at an unacceptable health risk of contracting coronavirus." Now, Secretary LaRose says early in-person voting is done. What you'll have to do is cast your ballot. You cannot cast your ballot, rather, until they have set a date. The state is looking at expanding mail-in ballots and other options, and we will continue to update you on that story. Well, as predicted, the number of coronavirus cases in Ohio continues to grow. 2 o'clock yesterday, we were told that there were at least 50 cases in more than a dozen counties. Of those, 14 people were in the hospital and 300 people under health supervision. There are 3 cases here in Franklin County, but as we know, that number is now growing. State leaders are urging Ohioans to stay home as much as possible.
Like I say with everyone right now, if it is non-essential, you should not be doing it.
The governor and Dr. Acton will be providing another update today, and they will also address the medical supplies in the state. Now, a new case that we know about is in Knox County, a teacher, the latest to test positive in Central Ohio for the coronavirus. The superintendent of East Knox Local Schools shared that news on Facebook. Students and staff have been told to stay home until the health commissioner can assess who may be at risk of exposure. And the governor ordered more businesses to close yesterday. Movie theaters, gyms, bowling alleys, all closed to the public. Now, as far as employees who work will remain open, the state is warning employers to allow sick employees to stay home. If they don't have paid sick leave, help is available.
When we get through this, and we will, and the economy will rebound, you're going to need those skilled employees. Take care of them now, help them out. And we also have ways for you to do this through shared work. Shared work is a program through the Ohio Department of Job and Family Services.
Businesses that remain open will include banks and grocery stores. Those are considered essential services that they will keep open as long as possible. Now, some governors across the United States are sounding the alarm, warning that not enough is being done to expand hospital capacity in order to handle an influx of coronavirus patients. At the same time, the White House is out with new recommendations to try to slow the spread of the disease. NBC's Chris Pallone has more.
In New York City, closing time ushers in an uncertain time.
I don't know financially how I'm going to pay my bills.
The nation's largest city joining several others across the country, forcing gathering spots to close indefinitely.
No matter who you are, please stay home.
This morning, 7 million people in the San Francisco Bay Area wake up under a mandatory order to stay home, the most drastic step against coronavirus in the nation.
These measures will be disruptive to day-to-day life, but there is no need to panic.
It comes as the White House issues its toughest guidelines to date, a 15-day push to slow COVID-19 spread.
As we combat the virus, each and every one of us has a critical role to play in stopping the spread and transmission of the virus.
The measures include closing schools in affected areas, avoiding discretionary travel, avoiding groups of 10 or more people, and working from home when possible. Some Senate Democrats worried about their own health want to act quickly to pass coronavirus relief measures.
And then return to our home states and likely not reconvene for weeks, if not months.
About a dozen states now have drive-through testing.
One in one side of the nose and one in the other side.
The White House claims 2,000 labs could process nearly 2 million tests by the end of the week. Chris Pallone, NBC News, New York.
And in just about a half an hour, the White House Coronavirus Task Force will provide a briefing. We will take that live as soon as it begins right here on NBC4. We will also be streaming that on NBC4i.com. And there are so many questions about the coronavirus, restrictions that are in place, what's coming next. We are hosting a special hour-long program tomorrow night at 7 p.m. featuring Governor DeWine and Dr. Amy Acton. You can post your questions to our NBC4 Facebook page or email them directly to coronavirus@WCMH.com. That information is on your screen right now, and we also have that for you on our website, NBC4i.com.